Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we're looking at the Z-10 Seeker class scout ship. Now, we just got done doing in one of our last videos the what was it, AH-25, I believe it was, which is a kind of second generation version of what the Z-10 Seeker was. So, this is a scout ship manufactured by Starfield Industries. Looking at the characteristics, this is a 20.3 meter long um, vessel. Carried one pilot, two passengers, 2 months worth of consumables, and only about 5 metric tons internally on the ship. Now, it had um 20 additional metric tons per cargo container, and it could carry up to two cargo containers attached onto the ship. So it gave you the opportunity to have up to about 45 um, tons worth of cargo. The ship could achieve a speed of 1,000 kilometers per hour in an atmosphere. A Myrdyne Limited RCS-1 flight control computer and a Novaldex JV71IN engine allowed sublight speed, which was slowed down and reduced in maneuverability if the cargo pods were attached. The ship had a Class 1 hyperdrive and a Class 12 backup. Pretty respectable. Kind of our average, but pretty respectable. Although unshielded, the craft had a Fibratech ANXY 2 sensor cluster and a forward Blastech Industries PRM3 pulse ion or pulse laser cannon. The cannon was underpowered and could only fire in a limited forward facing arc. Targeting was provided by the Fabritech sensor, but this meant that if it wasn't working, the vehicle was also defenseless. The Seeker was created as a replacement for the Vanguard Industries Pathfinder. It was used as a scout by the Scout Force as a courier in the Outer Rim by private industries or private interests and criminals. So, this comes from A Hunter's Fate, Greedo's Tale, Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina. That's its first appearance. Otherwise, we have Allegiance and Child of Light. Now, this information is coming to us from A Buyer's Guide to Alternative Starships, a Star Wars Adventure Journal 5, Pirates and Privateers, and Stock Ships, which I do know that, having both of these books, um, it does give us a lot of good information, much like how you see here. We right below the characteristics, we do have a nice internal diagram of the starship. So um, that one came directly to us from Stock Ships, Pirates and Privateers. It does give us the stats in that. This would be considered one of the prize vessels for the pirates. You know, a small scout vessel like this, in some regards, could be beefed up and used as a raider ship, or quite often it's going to be a cargo vessel of some sort, and it's just going to be a prize, hoping for, or hopefully for some pirate, or as a pirate would hope, to be able to capture a good amount of cargo that has some pretty decent value to it. Okay, so looking at the Z10 Seeker as far as the actual stats go for this, again, it is manufactured by Starfield Industries. It is a general alignment, so it is another one of these ships that could be used by almost anyone. Seeing it out in space, it's not going to scream Imperial or Pirate or Rebel Alliance or New Republic or anything. It is just a general ship. Okay, so the source for this is coming from Pirates and Privateers. This is a small scouting vessel, starfighter scale. It is at 20.3 meters long, um, has a crew of one, can carry up to two passengers, and in all, it can carry about 45 metric tons of cargo. That is with the two cargo pods. Consumables is 2 months. Brand new, you're looking at about 86,000 credits. Used, it's about 69,000 credits. Has a nav computer. Again, as this was mentioned in our write up, the hyperdrive is a times 1. The backup hyperdrive is a times 12. So, again, and I said it before, not too bad. There are some that are out there where you're looking at like a 15 and 18 or whatever. Um, you can crawl along to get to wherever you need to go. Going at a times 12 is not fast in any regards in comparison to a lot of the other military vessels and stuff like that. But, you know, it's still fun to think, you're going faster than light. So leaving it at that. All right, it has a maneuverability of 3D. It has a space of 7. Now, if you don't have the cargo pods, that bumps it up to a 9. Something I do want to mention because we looked this up on the last one, and because it's fresh in my mind and we're going to hit this, I do want you to be aware of that. All right, atmosphere. Now, this doesn't say anything in here. I'm going to say that regardless of having the cargo pods on or not, you're still going to go roughly about 1,000 kilometers an hour. Now, I can't say that you should go faster without the cargo pods. I really can't. Once you start getting into an atmosphere, it does kind of go off of the repulsor lift technology. So, depending on how that's rigged, and it doesn't really mention it, so I'm just going to say we'll just kind of keep it at 1,000 kilometers an hour. It does have a hull of 3D. Our sensor packet, we do have a passive scan going out to 2 kilometers with a 1D additional bonus. We can do an active scan out to 4 kilometers with an additional 1D plus 2 to our roll. We have an active search, which is at 6.5 kilometers at 2D additional roll to it, and a focus only going out to 300 meters with a 3D roll. Now that goes on to your normal sensor operation rolls. And I know I have a character here, so let's see here. So sensors under your mechanical, whatever you have. I've got just a hotshot pilot here because it just happens to be in the book. And you have a 4D, so keep in mind if you're doing a passive, that would be a 5D. Our active scan is a 5D plus 2. Our search is a 6D. You get the idea. Okay. Now the weapon is an auto blaster, so not a very powerful gun to begin with. This is at Starship Gunnery. It is turreted, so we can shoot pretty much anywhere. Looking at it, I don't see exactly where this is sitting. It may be underneath the belly. Actually, I think it is. Looking at the cockpit here, right underneath, it does look like there is a laser cannon of some sort, so that's probably going to be our auto blaster. So it's going to be on the belly of the vessel. Has a fire control of 2D, 0D if sensors are inoperable. Space range, 1 to 3, then out to 10, and then out to 20. Atmospheric, it's 1 to 300 meters, 1 kilometer, and then 2 kilometers. And it has a damage of 3D plus 1, so not a very strong weapon for fighting off pirates. So just kind of keeping that in mind. Cockpit is a little on the smaller side, so it only has 1 seat in there. Then we have a little interconnector here. We have equipment racks. And I'm trying to look at this sideways, and this is smaller print. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat and try and make this a little bit bigger so I can. All right. Then we have an entry hatch here. We do have hatch to cargo pod, or to either of the cargo pods. Let's see. Multi-purpose room. And we have a second multi-purpose room. We have systems here. So if you need to get in there, I'm sure there's going to be panels you can take off to get to the systems. We have an auto chef. We do have a couch with a little table, very similar as to what they had in the Millennium Falcon. so you could use it as a regular table or it's a game table. We have a hygiene area, and of course, crew quarters. Now, if you have two extra people in here, they're going to be sitting around back here or sleeping or however you want to do it. Chances are, in my mind, I'm going to kind of go off on a tangent here. You could have one person piloting, one person resting, one person sleeping, take like 8 hour shifts or something like that. Something along that line. Maybe, maybe not. However, you decide to do it. Now, this isn't a ship that I normally grab myself. Usually, I go with something with a little bit more cargo. Not that I'm really against the ship, it's just I usually try to find something that's got a little bit more cargo space to it. Um, just in case we get into something, I need that cargo room. Um, that's really the only real reason. There is nothing beyond that. So, just keeping all that in perspective here. But as far as a ship goes, this is a nice small ship. Um, I think you could probably upgrade it a little bit and make it a great personal craft. Yes, you can throw a couple extra people in there. Yes, you can use it as a small base of operations for yourself. You do have the cargo hatches here. Um, I really don't know, and I'm just kind of going off a little bit here. Is there a possibility you could maybe modify your cargo pods so that way you could throw like a small fighter or something like that in one of them? So maybe it's now up to like 30 tons and it's converted to being able to hold a specific small fighter. That would really be interesting. And then the other one would just be your extra supplies. Worst case scenario, you could always drop the pods and increase maneuverability and everything else. Um, it's just something to throw out there, right or wrong, either way. Now, this does have a note. All difficulty numbers to modify the Z10 at a plus 10. Without the cargo pods, the space increases by 2. And I already mentioned that. Our space goes up to 9. And the maneuverability goes up. So let's see, we have a maneuverability of 3D. It would go up to a 4D plus 1. So things to keep in mind. It is an interesting little ship. It's a nice little base here. This is what they then took to the upgraded version, keeping the cargo pods, which, when I was originally looking at it, I did not think about the cargo pods being added on there. But it is there. It's an interesting take. Something to think about. Another one of these ships that was designed really for West End games. Yes, it was kind of brought up in one of the novels. Um, but it's something that we don't typically get to see. So it's nice to be able to give it a little bit of a nice spotlight on it. So hope you enjoy the series. It's fun bringing this to you every day. Hope you have a wonderful day yourself. We'll see you in the next video.